Hello. I was going to do like a normal vlog. Today is my day off, so I had started a video last week. So I was going to do like the end of that video. And that would have been fine, only I had a rough night last night. I was very upset, barely slept at all. And if I had done that video today, I would have been absolutely barefaced lying. Like I would have been acting. Which I'm able to do because I was a depressed person, and you learn very quickly how to just absolutely pretend everything's okay. Also, the internet in general, we just all do that, where we're like, yeah, this is definitely my life. Don't look into it though. So I was like, you know what? I'm all for, hey, you know, talk about your feelings, you know, be open about what you're going through or whatever. And then like I'd be absolutely the biggest hypocrite ever, just like pretending nothing's going on. I would like to actually address that this video is probably going to be called something like, I don't know, Suicide Prevention Month or something. It will have the word suicide in it probably, and the first thing you're seeing is me in my dressing gown, absolutely so tired. I would like to make it just clear to anyone who maybe doesn't know me, or also people that know me, don't worry, I'm okay. I'm having like a bit of I'm upset just for other people because I know what it's like. That's what I want to talk about today. So I'm here with the biggest cup that I own, filled with tea, and I'm in my fucking dressing gown, and I have odd socks on. Hope there's no holes. No. And this is it. This is our video today. I want to talk about some stuff. That's what we're doing. But I'm fine, is what I wanted to just make clear. Where do I begin with this? So, just to give a really quick backstory, because people who actually know me or have listened to me before, you know the deal with me, but I still like to like mention it in videos, because just in case this is someone's first time watching my video. Hello, my name is Tara. I was depressed for many years, from about 15 to early 20s. Depression doesn't really just switch off, so it's hard for me to even decipher where it stopped, because it's a long process. But consistently now for about 3 years I haven't been depressed. I have been functioning in a kind of normal, quote unquote, sense, in that my base level is not sadness, you know, where I'm hanging out most of the time, where my mood naturally goes when it's on chill mode, is not despair, which is definitely how it is when you're depressed. It's just that it just feels like that's just your regular, that's where you live, that's your mood constantly. Sometimes you have good days, awesome, sometimes you have really bad days, but where you kind of live is this sense of just hopelessness. And I would say that probably for about 3 or 4 even years now, that hasn't been the case with me. After a lot of counselling and, you know, dealing with my stuff, we got there. So I just like to give you that quick, very, very brief backstory. Other than that, I have no idea where to start with what I want to talk about today. What do we start with, guys? Oh man. I had a fucking rough night, I won't lie. Should we just dive straight in? Man, you know what's so funny? And by so funny, I mean not funny at all. I am such an open person. Like, that's my thing, right? That's my superpower now. That I've come through depression and these different things, and I am like super open. Like, I'm happy to talk about it. What was that accent? I want it to be a normal thing that people just discuss what they've been through, and it's not even brave. I just want everyone to just have that base level of, we just actually share our fucking reality. So that's my stance, and yet now I'm getting really awkward because there's this part of me and this like thing that happened that I've never really spoken about properly. And now I'm feeling that feeling that like everyone else does, where I'm like, oh God, I don't really want to be talking about this. So I'm a hypocrite, and I'm glad that that's what this video is about. Awesome. Okay. Here's the deal. Firstly, to explain, oh man, I literally don't know how to talk about this. This is such a weird feeling for me. Okay, let me explain why I don't know how to talk about it. Let's just dive in, shall we? And you know what, Tara, you're the one editing this. You can never put this on the internet if you want, so just fucking start talking and get over yourself. So, how many years ago is that now? Jesus Christ. I think 6 years ago, 6 years in December. A neighbour and dear friend of our families committed suicide. I, myself and my mum were involved in the night, let's say, when it happened. The aftermath, when it happened, and then everything that followed, the whole night we were involved in, let's say. So I saw firsthand then what, God damn it, I saw firsthand then the effect that suicide has on families. And I remember when it happened, feeling instantly incredibly guilty that I had ever considered doing it myself. Because at this stage, I'm 19. So I'm still kind of in the midst. I'm definitely better. My kind of peak depression was probably 17 or 18. So I'm a little bit better. But I'm still kind of in it. And I saw firsthand the effect that it has on people. Because when you're contemplating it, you're not really thinking of the practicalities involved. You are a little bit, but your brain has convinced you that these people they are better off without you. So you think, yeah, okay, they might be sad, they'll be sad when they find out that has happened, but then they'll be okay because I won't be such a burden on them anymore. And that just doesn't happen. It just passes the pain on. And the reason I have never spoken about it, and I probably won't speak about it ever in like great detail or talk about actually anything that happened, is because it's not my story. It's not my father. It's not my husband. It's not my relation. I was just involved, which is another point that I would like to make, in the sense of, when you are thinking about committing suicide, you're thinking about all the aspects of it. So you're kind of thinking, who's going to find me, and all those horrible things. And you think of who it's going to affect. And I know for a fact, well, I can't know for a fact, but I realistically know I was not a person that he thought about before he did that. You know, obviously, I was a neighbour. Our families were close, and I babysat, and I knew them well, but I definitely was not a person that he was thinking of before doing it. That doesn't make any sense. I'm not part of his immediate circle of the people you think this is going to affect them, you know. And now it's 6 years later, and I still deal with that, you know. And it's not about me. But I just think it's an important point, is that... Let me wrap this up 1 second. An important point is that you actually have no idea, when you're feeling suicidal and going through something like that, you have no idea the effect that's going to have on the people around you, because your brain is literally lying to you as it is. It's convincing you that you're some sort of burden, or that these people around you don't actually care, and that they'd be much better off without you. And then what's crazy is, you haven't even thought of half the people it will have an effect on. Like, you're literally only thinking of the direct circle, and it just ripples out. I've seen it so many times. I've seen suicides happen. I felt it myself. The pain it causes is not just the immediate family. It just ripples out. It affects everyone. Most people have anyway someone that they lost to suicide. And then every suicide after that hurts. Even if you don't know the person. It has a massive effect. And it's crazy that our brains can convince us that we are not important, or that we're not worthy of getting help. Or maybe you've tried help. There's so many situations like where they've tried help and they just feel like it's never going to get better. There are just so many different situations, but it is just crazy to me as a person who has seen both sides of it. Now, luckily, I'm on the right side of it, but I just have seen the effect it's had. And it's crazy to think that there was a time where I thought that I wouldn't have mattered. Like, there was a time that I thought if I did that, it wouldn't have had an effect on anyone. And now I know how incredibly wrong that was. But that could have easily happened, and I would have never known. Because that's the thing with it, like, you know. Some people don't ever get to learn that. So, that's what I mean when I say I'm okay. As in, I am fine. I'm not feeling that way. I'm just feeling a huge sense of like, I don't know what I'm feeling. It's Suicide Prevention Month, September. So there will be a lot of talk around suicide and things like that. And I just said I would like to contribute in some way, even if I'm absolutely just rambling on my couch. I also, I'd like to talk about the importance of telling someone that you're going through something like that. I only last night, which is why I didn't sleep, remembered, I had kind of forgotten that there was ever a time with me that I hadn't spoken to anyone about what I was going through, because I'm so used to me now, which is never shuts up about things, and has no problem talking about mental health or talking about my own issues. Even, obviously, it's easier to talk when they're past tense. You know, it's easier to talk about your depression when you're not in the middle of it. But I would still even now be a lot better at talking about something I might be currently feeling or going through. I forgot there was a time that wasn't the case, that I had told no one, and that I had no interest in telling anyone. I didn't know how to get those words out. I didn't know how I was going to say, I think I'm depressed. Because that's the starting point as well. You don't really know for a little while, and then there's a point where you go, okay, this is definitely something. Like, I'm definitely not functioning like my peers. There's something going on here. So we had a retreat in school. I don't remember a lot of the details about it, to be honest. I think it might have been a religious one, but it wasn't super religious in the sense of the people that came in were talking about mental health and like the importance of sharing things. And he actually had told a story of a guy who had wanted to commit suicide, and he had shared that with the guy who was running the retreat, and they had talked him out of it, essentially. And I remember feeling really inspired by that this feeling of, oh, people can come out of it. And I was like, okay, I need to tell someone. And I actually found, which is crazy, you gotta love social media sometimes. I've had the same Facebook since I made a Facebook. I actually found the messages that I sent to this retreats page. And this is the first time I ever said I was depressed. The 19th of September. Wow, it was September. I didn't notice that yesterday. 19th of September 2012. I basically just messaged them saying, thank you so much for today. It helped me a lot. And they said, you're so welcome. I mean that, and we are here for you if you ever need us. And I said, I wouldn't be sure where to start. Thank you, though. And they pushed further and said, well, if you ever need to talk, just talk away here. You are so welcome. And I said, maybe I will someday. And they said, well, complete confidentiality number 1. And also, if there's any other help you need, we can help with that too. Now keep smiling and carry today with you. And I said, I don't know, this is the first time I've tried to get any sort of help. I'm just depressed and don't know what to do. I'll definitely carry today with me, keeping my pages forever. Tara, you are not alone in the way you feel, so please don't feel that you are. Be honest with me, is there anyone in the school that you feel really comfortable around that you can talk to? One of the teachers? Please don't panic, this is between you and me. I don't think I would be good to talk to a teacher. I'm not very good about talking about stuff. This is the furthest I've ever come. I'm actually getting so fucking emotional right now. I just would love to tell this 2012 Tara who said, I'm not very good about talking about stuff. I'd love to just be like, girl, you are in, 2012, in 8 years. Don't you worry, you're going to be well able to talk about stuff. You might still have a little cry, but you're going to be a lot better at it. Tara, this is a great step, believe me. Talking through this is one of the best possible ways of dealing with it. We're here for you until you feel ready to talk to someone else. Main thing is to remember from today how special and unique you truly are and so valuable, although you don't see it at this moment. Please talk away when you feel you can. Don't keep anything bottled up. I don't know who to talk to. I have some friends that know some things, but I don't even like to tell them much. That's kind of where the conversation ends. They say that, you know, they can get me in touch with counsellors if I want, or there's other options, but the great thing is you took the step and it was a wonderful one. That's kind of the end of the conversation. But that is true in that was a very big step. And it kind of did start something for me where I was more open to telling people what was going on. I think I told family, I told a guidance counsellor in school. It just started it for me, which eventually then got me in touch with counsellors and different things. It's not a quick process, I'll say that much. If you're going through it currently, it's not going to change very quickly. Even after you take these steps, and each step is as exhausting as the last. Your first step of telling someone, and then you have to maybe go to a professional. Each time you take a step, it's exhausting, but at the same time, knowing you're taking steps is encouraging. Even when it feels like you're just making no fucking progress, you are. Once you've taken that step, of, I need help, firstly admitting I need help. Because when you say I need help, you're acknowledging that there is something wrong. Because for a huge amount of time, people who are depressed or suicidal or anxious or the many other mental illnesses that people can go through, the first thing is you're like, okay, I'm not as bad as others. You know, people have it way worse, so I need to just get on with it, you know? And you'll give yourself this talk for a long time. You don't want to be talking to people about it. You don't want to be burdening them. They're probably going through stuff. I won't bring it up. And then it gets to a point where you cannot ignore it anymore. And you need to just be honest. And most importantly, you need to acknowledge that you deserve help. Like, you're not a burden. You're not all these things that your brain is telling you you are. You're important. You're a person. And without you, the world wouldn't be the same. No matter what you think or how little of an effect you think you'd have or whatever, those ripples get sent out further than you could ever imagine. And you are so deserving of giving yourself that second chance at life. And it's crazy because I never, just to be completely honest, I never had a suicide attempt. I never actually kind of escaped death in that sense. But I feel that way when I look back on that time, where I think there's nothing different about me and someone who commits suicide. It feels the same. I feel like I was just lucky. Somehow I didn't do it. Somehow I just continued on. And now I'm alive. And it's like, I don't know, is it a survivor's guilt or something? Like we all mutually feel like we all are we were in the same accident or something. But I know that I feel that where I don't know how it didn't happen, but I'm so grateful to whatever that I just kept going because I had some sort of supports and that I tried. And listen, I went to my first counsellor, that was a shit show, and then I went to another one, and then I went to another one. They're people, so you won't always actually get on with the first one you meet. You just have to keep trying. You have to buckle down. You have to realize that this is not a quick process, but you're worth it, so it doesn't matter. Just one day. Each day, just take it. Today, not even I'm going to try and be happy. Forget that. Today, I'm just going to try and be okay. I'm going to reach out if I need help. I'm going to keep going. Tomorrow, same thing. The next day, same thing. It's not setting these unrealistic goals for yourself of, I want to be, happy, like this, because it's just not going to happen. You just need to take it day by day, and it eventually just catches up and you go, what the fuck? I'm fine. Like, I'm better. I'm just functioning at a normal, again, I hate saying normal because when you get to that point, you start realizing, oh, there's no, oh, I'm happy now. People go through feelings, like we just move through them. So there's no, oh, I'm happy. Back then I was sad. It's most of the time now I'm happy. I still have my bad days. I still have my anxieties. I still have things to deal with. But I'm better than I was. And I at the very least know that I am worth working on and worth fixing and worth just getting to a level where I know that my life is important. So, to round this up, I would urge anyone who is feeling okay, who's fine, and not dealing with maybe something like that, to reach out to people close to you. Whether you think they're fine or not, just double check. There's no harm, even if you think there's no way that they could be possibly going through anything. There's no loss if you just check, because it's the thing that's said the most anyway when someone does commit suicide. It's, oh, you would never have known, or they were so happy. And we all know that basically it is easy to portray that. So check in. Anyone who's going through it themselves currently, please just be kind to yourself. You are worth holding on for, whether you believe that or not. You absolutely are. You're important, and if you weren't here, the effect it would have on the whole, just the world, you don't know. You don't know what kind of a difference you could make if you just keep going. You don't know what would happen in your personal life. We can't guess anything, we don't know what would happen, but you rob yourself of that chance when you do that. So I just I really need the message to get across that it might feel like it won't matter, or that it won't make a difference if you were to take your own life, but it's incredibly important for you to know that you just are worth more than that. You know, you deserve a chance. You deserve to give yourself the chance to make whatever your future is. I know when you feel like there is no future, it's hard to even, you literally can't even fathom it. But as someone who was there and has seen both sides, you will get there. It will be hard, but I would urge you to maybe take the first step. If no one knows, reach out to anyone just to get the words out. Even if it's just a helpline or someone, just a complete stranger, just to hear yourself say it or just have that conversation. A doctor, whoever, and then if you're lucky enough that maybe you have friends or family that you could, obviously it's going to be incredibly hard to tell them, but if you have people like that, definitely now is as good a time as any to just get that first step done, and you will just take it day by day and eventually get there. This was an absolute rant. And normally what I do is I record things like this when I feel them. And then the next day I'll be like, oh, I could have said that better now. Because I'm thinking of like the message, and I'm when I'm working off emotions, I'm more just like rambling. And then I get some time and I'm like, oh, I'll re-record that and, you know, really get what I'm trying to say out. But I don't want to do that with this because I want it to be just me and my emotions just talking about it. I don't want it to be staged. That was the whole point of me filming today. So if this was a ramble and a rant, I apologize. I hope the message got through. And I hope everyone is safe and healthy and happy. And if you're not, I hope that you know that you can get there. Thank you for watching, if you did. See you maybe next week for some ridiculousness, probably. I will leave links in the description of helplines, resources, things that you can go and have a look at if you're feeling suicidal or depressed or like you might harm yourself. I'll leave a lot of resources in the description. Please, please mind yourself. Look after yourself. You are absolutely worth that. Thanks for watching.